I don't usually watch documentaries. Heck, this is actually technically my first ever review for a documentary. And well, I'm glad I watched it. So here's a solid 8 out of 10 for Superman, the Christopher Reeve story. Want to know why I loved it? Let's talk about it. First note that I have to say before continuing with this review, do not take your life for granted. Make it count. When I watched this documentary, that is the immediate feeling that I took away. And obviously Christopher Reeve is a great human being. He was a great person in his time and still makes a lasting impact in the communities that he endorsed and advocated for. Every moment is precious. If you haven't called somebody that you should be calling, call them. Don't just text them, call them. Superman was one of the first movies I remember growing up watching with my mom and dad. It was a simple film that had a simple message: do good unto others. Christopher Reeve carried that spirit, and when I heard they were making this documentary, I knew immediately I had to attend this screening. This documentary shows us the humanity of Christopher Reeve, the good, the bad, and the Superman. It not only showcases how Christopher Reeve was just this great human being, it shed some stuff about his story that I had no idea. It's not like I would, pop open the magazine of Life magazine and be like, oh wow, I'm gonna see what's up with Christopher Reeve. At the time when he passed away, I believe I was 8 years old. I didn't really do a lot of digging around celebrities at that time. One thing that stood out to me about his personal life was him being friends with Robin Williams. You just felt the brotherhood that they had with one another, seeing the behind the scenes takes that people were grabbing of them when they're walking on the street or talking on stage together. Just felt genuine, their friendship, and I truly appreciated that almost kind of behind the curtain look of both of their lives. And for people who don't know, Christopher Reeve had an accident, I believe in 1995 on May 27th. Where he was riding a horse and then tragedy fell upon him. And from that moment on, he was paralyzed, I believe from the shoulders down. That can take a lot on a person, but one thing that can definitely help somebody, friendship, and Robin Williams, every year on the anniversary of his accident, would have a chef go over to Christopher Reeve's family's house and throw a party. I just found that to be endearing. Let's also talk about another superstar, Dana, Christopher Reeve's wife. She never stopped being an incredible mother, wife, caregiver. The list can go on for somebody in that position. She held up the pieces Chris could no longer carry on his own, and her strength is a testament to her devotion. The pacing of this documentary is surprisingly sporadic, but it's purposeful. Early on, Christopher Reeve talks about how when lying down, he would see bits and pieces of his life flash by. The directors took that comment to heart in telling this narrative in that way. Jumping from injury to being Superman to rehab, career, marriage. It's a unique and genius approach that kept me fully engaged for this hour and 40-something minute experience. The only slight issue that I have with this film is near the tail end where, by the way, bring a lot of tissues because the last 10-20 minutes, you're gonna need them. It is just emotional damage after emotional damage. Within those final moments in the film, with all this despair that's happening, the movie kind of rushes in the final 5 minutes, and there's a lot of information, especially with Christopher Reeve was able to help with this part of his life and how he was able to help in this community. And we do get glimpses and pieces of that in the first half of the film, specifically in the scientific background, like stem cell research. I wish there was a bit more of that research to get a sense of impact for certain lines that are said in the final 5 minutes. But guys, this is a phenomenal documentary. I highly encourage you to watch this. I believe it's only out on September 21st and September 25th. Thank God HBO Max, whatever you want to call it, Warner Brothers Discovery. Thank you, David Zaslav, for not axing this and not just throwing it on the streaming service library, giving it a respectful theatrical debut. So I don't know what else to say other than please watch this.